The Isle of Man officially starts racing this weekend.
All right, the Isle of Man. And that one's crazy. If you haven't seen that one, look that one up.
Yeah, look up the Isle of Man. Never seen the Isle of Man myself personally, but I may look and check it out as we kind of wind down and see what's going on here. See what captivates Director Dave on that end, as far as the motor.
If you haven't seen it, it's wild.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Especially, I mean, you're racing on the island on a street race. I mean, that's probably got to be pretty entertaining if you're into racing. Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome back to this episode of Bets and Buds. We're the Buds helping you cash your bets. I am Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We are past Memorial Weekend. We just had the Indy 500 pass us by. Yep. One of the biggest spectacles of racing that goes on. Something I don't give two shits about. But you know what? It is what it is. Brings 400,000 people to the city of Indianapolis. We also got, obviously, the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs going on right now. The conference finals for both teams. All teams are up 3-1 right now in each one of those series right now. So we'll cover that today. A little bit of NFL spotty news there. And obviously Cardinals baseball. Let's go Cards. They're playing well. Beat the Orioles last night. In a big comeback victory. Went in 7-4. That game, they jumped out 3-1. Went down 4-3. Got a big 4-run 8th inning.
Yeah, I called that one last night. When Arenado let that play go through, and then they threw the wild pitch, and then they walked the next guy. I was like, here comes the homer.
Oh, yeah, boom. Yeah, big shots to get us back in the game. So the Cardinals looking good. I think they're 31-24 right now. 31-24. So that's what we always say. Memorial Day weekend is when you pretty much know what your baseball team looks like. 3 games back of those Cubbies. They're actually playing lights out baseball right now. So let's see what happens. It's the craziest thing, but I don't like about the realignment of the seasons right now is that here we are in May, Memorial Day, and the Cubs and Cardinals have not played one time yet.
Not yet.
Not one time, which is wild. I mean, that's a wild thing for us here in St. Louis and the big baseball fans to know that the Cubs and Cards are going here almost into June and have not played one series up to this date.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't like as many interleague games either.
Yeah,
that was always the mystery.
Yeah, because, I mean, you get the interleague games, and now all of a sudden, because it takes away your chance to control your destiny in the division. Because, like, when you have those extra division games, it allows you to have, as long as you're beating that team head-to-head, you get a chance to control your destiny.
If you're going 18-3 against the Pirates on the season,
exactly,
there's a good chance you're going to win that division.
Exactly. So, we'll dive into the Cardinals a little bit here first before we move on into the other playoff series to cover our local action here. So, the Cardinals, like we said, are 31-24 right now. What's his name? Donovan is having an amazing season so far. He's batting .328 up to this point. I think
leads the National League in hits.
Yeah, leading the National League. 61 hits, I believe it is.
I think he's up to 68 after last.
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah. So I missed several hits in.
So they're 17-5 in their last 22 games.
Nice.
I mean, they are really cooking because they were sitting for they had gone 14-14 to get back to 500. Lost them 5 games in a row, looked really, really bad, and now they've gone on this epic streak.
And I think they said the only team that has a more wins against 500 teams is the Mets and the Yankees right now against teams that are over 500. So the Cardinals are in third as far as teams, and they're 3 games back of the Cubs, but only 1 came back in the second wild card position against the Padres. So
correct.
So I mean, let's go Cards, baby. We're in Memorial Weekend.
3 games clear of the Brewers right now. I mean, you're looking good in that division. Like you said, once you start playing some of those division games, besides the Reds and the Pirates, I think, is what they played so far now.
We just have to have that Cubs matchup that's coming up here really soon, I think mid-June.
Their next 3, after they finish up this one in Baltimore, they go on the road to the Rangers, and then they come back home for 9. But your first 6 will be the Royals for 3, and then you got the Dodgers coming in for 3.
Ooh, that'll be a good test.
So you've got some good...
and the Cardinals have been known Dodger killers in the years past.
They have. The other thing I wanted to talk about, this is a surprising thing, because when we traded for him last year, he was supposed to not walk a lot of guys. Eric Fetty has 26 walks so far this year.
He's been surprisingly bad as far as his control.
In like 59 innings.
Yeah.
It's really bad. And when you contrast that to Libator, who has 8 walks in 60 innings himself, and is still leading the major leagues in walks per 9.
Right. Which makes that Randy Rosarina trade look a lot better now.
Yes, going fast forward,
without
a doubt.
Big time.
Yeah, just you're getting contributions from everybody. Arenado hit another home run. He's up to 6 now for the season.
Yep, Newbar got his 8th home run of the season, leading the team.
Newbar's up to 8. So I mean, you're Palante, even though he wasn't excellent yesterday, he was good enough to get the job done. He made that really is that one mistake pitch that he gave up.
Yeah, he had the one mistake pitch. They got in trouble. They had some fielding issues in one of the innings too as well, I think, which has been uncharacteristic of this team because they've actually been one of the best fielding teams.
Yeah,
in baseball
coming into that game, I don't know that it would have changed a whole lot.
I'm sure not too much, but yeah.
But they were the best defensive team in the major leagues.
Yeah, so I mean, like you could always go with that. So. All right, so let's go Cards, baby. We're here in the next push. We're next to the next 3 quarters left of the season. Yeah. Only about 120 games left to go.
107 more.
Yeah, 107 games to go.
And if it makes playoffs, then you're looking at 120.
Absolutely. All right, so let's dive into the hockey playoffs, Bobby.
All right, the first one, the big game last night, helped me I hit a pop, just a little small 800. Nice. Plus 800 pop with Robertson getting a point, Hopkins getting 3 shots on goal, and McDavid getting a power play point. So just a little 3-legger right there. But Edmonton has taken control of that series.
Yes.
I talked crap on Stuart Skinner again, and then he shuts me up.
And he's looking solid, baby. Only one more way for
In the last 3 games, he's only given up 2 goals. That's it. Mm-hmm. He's just been dynamite. In their last 4 wins, though, he's given up 2 goals. So he had 2 shutouts in between that stinker that he gave up in Game 5, that 5-goal effort. So besides that game 1 5-goal effort, he has really been solid. Yes. And it looks like it's going to be Edmonton and the Panthers again.
So another rematch.
A rematch.
Which went 7 games last year, which is a hell of a series last year. So you know what? Let's see what happens.
The surprising thing right now is it's Nugent Hopkins running that offense. He leads the team as far as this series: 2 goals, 7 assists.
No shit.
McDavid 2 goals, 5. Draisaitl 2 goals, 5 assists. So
and that's probably been the biggest difference with Edmonton this year. Is their lines are balanced as far as scoring.
Yeah, they're a little more balanced
because they used to be top heavy, like big time.
They're not getting crazy numbers out of their defensemen, but the defensemen are chipping in when they have to.
Right,
and they're getting the secondary scoring. Corey Perry scored the other night. Jeff Skinner, guys like that. Mm-hmm. Evander Kane, even though he hasn't scored in this series, has a 3-assist night. So
they're playing solid on the blue line all the way around. They look balanced, like they're ready to prime to break that Canadian curse right now for no Stanley Cups.
So on the other side, the Panthers, even though they lost that Game 4, you would like to say a 3-0 win for Carolina is pretty significant, but the game, it really was a 1-0 game because they gave up 2 empty netters.
Yeah, so I mean, you know what? I feel like this is going to be a gentleman's sweep here. We can see that series end tonight.
Yes, we can. I totally expect the Panthers to take that series. Yeah. I actually got a bet going on tonight for that series. Give me Aho with 3 shots on goal, Kachuk 3 shots on goal, Bobrovsky to score above 11 fantasy points, Bennett with 3 shots on goal, and then this is the one that kicks it up there because they give you a free token that you can use on an NBA game to take any point total down to 0. So I threw that on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to get it over 34 points, but it doesn't matter how many points he gets because it's set at 0.
Oh, nice.
So that kicks it up to plus 25-27.
And that's through Underdog, right?
And that's through Underdog. So, yeah, that's what I got going on tonight.
And so just for those who don't know, how does a goalie score 11 fantasy points?
Well, how they do it is shots on goal, goals against, and a win actually gets most of your fans. So for every shot on goal that he saves, or every save, he'll get like a half a point.
Half a point, okay.
For every goal against, it's like minus a point.
Gotcha.
And then if you pick up the win, it's like plus 6 points.
Okay.
So, if he puts up 24 saves a night, doesn't give up more than 2 goals, and gets the win,
oh, yeah.
I'm going to get that one.
Oh, nice, yeah. Okay, so
and he has not given up more than 2 goals in this series.
Oh, that's a little education for me right there because, like I said, I haven't never done hockey fantasy. So
that's how that one would work.
All right. Nice. All right, so let's go to the association here. So we had the Knicks and the Pacers last night in Indiana, a big game 4 game. So the Pacers actually came out triumphant last night against the Knicks. Big win. Karl Anthony Towns looks like he's kind of dealing with a little knee injury right now. Pacers are in a very commanding 3-1 series lead, just like Oklahoma City's in a commanding 3-1 series lead right now. They got a chance to close that series out against Minnesota tonight. Minnesota looks like they're just kind of really frustrated with all the depth of OKC, the struggles. But again, we looked at that the last time after the first 2 games, and they come back and blow it out by 40.
They did. In Game 3, they blew them out by 40, but then they come back and turn it around and get on pretty much. They didn't get blown out.
They didn't get blown out, but the game was pretty much in hand the whole time. Like there was never a time where OKC didn't seem like they were in control. Who actually was the difference maker in that last game was Chet Holmgren, the 7'4" 150-pound Chet Holmgren.
I mean, he gets out. He's a top 5 block guy, isn't he?
I mean, he's the thing is with Chet Holmgren, he's long. He's got offensive skills. He just always, his biggest question was, does he have enough body to handle the physicality of the NBA? And right now, he's shown that he can do, he can handle it. Because especially now, we don't really have a lot of big men that are banging like that. He's not dealing with
no
any
Shaq out there.
He's not dealing with any Shaqs or even to deal with somebody like Charles Barkley coming at him at in the rim, or Chris Webber or something like that. He's not dealing with those type of big bodies that are coming with that physicality because the game has moved so much behind the 3-point line, behind the mid range, and so you're not dealing with that physicality. But Chet actually made a big difference, crashing boards, getting offensive rebounds. And so it's going to be tough for Minnesota to really combat that. I mean, it's really going to be tough because OKC is really, really deep.
Yeah, they're deep. I totally expect them to win that series.
That's why I think the Pacers and the OKC Thunder are going to be a great series because both teams are really deep. They like to run the floor a lot. So, I mean, it's going to be...
see like 150, 140.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be very competitive. Or you're going to see like where it's going to be a battle where they're going to have to do some grind out there.
Okay.
Because, I don't know as far as like from a defensive standpoint who can slow down Tyrese Halliburton because, Halliburton has been tough. he's doing some record-setting stuff right now. He had a triple-double last night with no turnovers. I think he's the first player in NBA history to have a 30 in 15 games, 30
without a turnover.
Without a turnover. And he's done it like 9 times.
And that was with his dad.
Yeah, his dad was there last night. They let Pop Halliburton back into the arena last night. He had to sit in the suite with them floor side. Now, for those who don't understand this, so the NBA actually made concessions by letting him back in the arena because typically if that would have been a normal fan that confronted a player, that was a year ban. Like it's an automatic year ban for any fan that combats and gets on the floor in a player's face in the NBA. That's a guaranteed year ban. Okay. So if everybody said, he got done wrong, yes and no, but at the end of the day, he did get in Giannis Antetokounmpo's face after that series was over with, and so they didn't ban him for the whole year. They told him, hey, you got about these 8 games you can't go to, because he was actually going to road games too as well. So he's back in the arena, sitting in the suite. We'll see the next round if they advance, if they let him back there on the floor side, but court side. But I don't, who knows? You'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Let me see how that goes. But both series are both at 3-1 right now. If I would have my projection, I think OKC and the Pacers are going to be able to be the finals.
I see that one happening as well. Yes, it happens, but running off 3 in a row at this point in the season.
That's going to be tough.
After you've already played them 4 times.
Especially for like the Knicks. They are pretty run down right now. Karl Anthony Towns is pretty beat up. He was favoring that knee a lot. I was actually surprised he was able to come back in the game as quickly as he did last night. Getting that leg rolled up on again. So, we'll see what happens as far as the Knicks. They might have a lot of juice going back to the Garden, coming off of that big loss here against the Pacers. And they may be able to pull out a win for Game 5, but I don't see it going past Game 6.
Still, you got to go back to Indiana.
Yeah, you got to go back to Indiana for Game 6. So if they get that win in Game 6, that would be a kind of huge win for them to get that win in Game 6. And then once you get to Game 7, you never know what can happen.
You just got to think about just winning the next 2, and then the Game 7 is...
Exactly. But you got to get this one tomorrow night in the Garden. Got to. So we got the associations cooking. We got the NHL is cooking right now. Hopefully we have some great finals coming up here for the championships of both leagues.
I hate to see a repeat in hockey, but I guess if it's going to be a repeat, these 2 are good enough.
Oh yeah. Well, and the thing is with the NBA. So I think they said this is the first time. I think this will be the 7th year in a row that we have a new champion.
Oh, okay.
7th year in a row, so there's been no repeats, no dynasties, which has been really an anomaly for the NBA.
Yeah,
because
that's
NBA lived on dynasties for a long time. We had the Celtics, you had the Pacers, you had the Pistons, you had the Bulls. And then you had back to the Lakers again. San Antonio had their run. The dynasty thing has always kind of been how the NBA has operated. But right now, it's kind of great for basketball to see this parity with teams that have no, especially, I know a lot of people say, oh man, ratings-wise, business-wise, it's going to kill because we got Oklahoma and we got Indiana, 2 Midwest teams that aren't big markets at all.
They're doing something right because they're raking in the money.
Oh yeah, they're getting it there now, man. And then you see these max contracts keep going up and up. So it's going to be an exciting time in the NBA as well as the NHL.
No, that's when you bring up the contracts. That's the crazy part about the NBA because even your 12th man is making just as much as McDavid, who is one of the higher paid guys.
Yeah, it's the NBA money's nowhere even close.
Yeah, NBA money's crazy.
Oh, right, they're talking about SGA, they're talking about Shane Gilgeous-Alexander. They're saying because he's up for his contract next year. They're talking about him making up his max contract is potentially up to $380 to $390 million. coming up. So I mean, like that's just insane money, man.
is.
But I mean, that's still nothing crazy. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how baseball gets all their money for their contracts. That you're able to give Juan Soto 65?
Yeah, something like
765. I mean, you're not like baseball does. They're a regional sport. You're not even like getting national broadcast games like that. So where that money comes from in baseball. Steve Cohen, I guess, he's got more money than God apparently to be able to kind of filter it out. I'm sure they work it down the pipeline because like Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid by the Mets $1 million a year. So
merchandising can only be a little bit of it. It's got to be through selling ads. And
I mean, you got to be selling ads. I mean, I guess market-wise, who knows? But I mean, these guys kick the can down the road. And I mean, where the owners actually make their money at the end of the day is building up the value of the franchise and then being able to sell it. And be able to sell it. Because again, most of these guys, they're businessmen. Their money has not been made off of these teams. And a lot of times, like especially like in the NFL, they talk about like teams. The ownership, the Haslam Group, like in Cleveland, like that's why they were able to give Deshaun Watson the $230 million because you have to put that money in the escrow in order to to where an account to where that money is there. And they were able to give Myles Garrett that $42 million a year contract. You have to be able to put that money in escrow to kick that money down the line. And so the only reason why that you can do that is if you have the equity within business, and that always usually is a separator between ownership because like a Mark Davis was always noted for the Raiders. He was always noted as one of the poorer owners in the NFL, where he couldn't afford to do those type of moves and to make those type of decisions. And so, once again, like I said, that money's not coming in as much because yes, they say, they're making millions of dollars, billions of dollars, whatever it may be, but there's a lot of overhead that comes with running those businesses. I mean,
sure.
like when you're talking about whether they're having to lease a stadium, whether they own the stadium, the taxes on the stadium, depending on what state they're in.
Yeah, depending on the state.
There's so many things that kick into that factor to where, yes, they're making a lot of money, but they're putting out a shit ton of money for their fans' entertainment.
I mean, your game day staff.
Yes, exactly. Game day staff. I mean, you're talking like your physical therapy crew, or your medical crews. You're talking about your equipment crew. You're like, I mean, everything that's involved with that because, like in the NFL team, I mean, they're literally taking. When they go on a road game, they are taking their operation, moving all of that shit,
all the way to
all of that shit to wherever they're going, or to another country with all these international games. So and so speaking of the NFL, so there's not a whole lot of action going on right now. We're in OTAs, still on the Aaron Rodgers watch right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's probably the biggest news that's going on right now. But outside of that, I mean, we really don't have a whole lot of new news.
No, nobody's injured, have no surprise arrests or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, thank God, because that's usually the only news we really get at this time of the year. Yeah, this time of the season.
99 days for game one.
95 days. 95
days. All right.
Yeah, 3 months. Months. We're almost there.
Yeah, so we just got to hang tight and keep that shit rolling, baby.
So, yeah, just get your little tiny bets in on whichever platform you like. Right now, mine's underdog right now, so.
You know what? I took some hits. I'm waiting until football season, baby. If I'm going to lose my money, I'm losing to my golden goose, which is the NFL season. So,
all right, that's all I got.
All right, that's all I got, brother. Director Dave, you got anything in the MotoGP world?
Well, off this week.
Off this week. There was a surprise winner last week. Surprise top 3, actually. Yeah. Oh, what was that guy's name?
Big Zani or something like that.
Yeah, I don't.
Hold on. And I guess San Paulo was the Indy 500 winner, so I guess that was the first Spanish winner in Indy 500 history. Kyle Larson wasn't able to do his double dip from the Coca-Cola 600 and the Indy 500. Yes, he tried to complete that race again, in one day.
Oh, was there?
Kyle Larson tried to pull. He tried to pull it. I mean, he attempted it last year, had to rain out, so was able to make it, but didn't get it done. So. It wasn't able to get it done again this year. I think this will probably be his last year attempting that. He's going to probably just try and focus on one of those races.
That sounds like a lot of extra work.
A lot of extra work, a lot of extra expenses, and if you're not getting any return on it, juice ain't worth the squeeze. Yeah.
The Isle of Man officially starts racing this weekend.
All right, the Isle of Man. And that one's crazy. If you haven't seen that one, look that one up.
Yeah, look up the Isle of Man. Never seen the Isle of Man myself personally, but I may look and check it out as we kind of wind down and see what's going on here. See what captivates Director Dave on that end, as far as the motor.
If you haven't seen it, it's wild.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Especially, I mean, you're racing on the island on a street race. I mean, that's probably got to be pretty entertaining if you're into racing.
Yep, that's all I got, brother.
All right, brother. So make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button, add to the comments section. We appreciate you guys keep tuning in here to Bets and Buds. I am Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.